Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Oh my goodness.
It's 9 p.m. on a Tuesday night. In fact, it's May 10th, 2022. And this is Crime and Culture Live. I'm Tim here tonight with Lance. What's up, Lance?
I really can't think of a better place to be other than right here in front of this. For those who can't see, this is our promotional thing. We got Dr. Meghan and Dr. Amy from Women and Crime with us. They are incredibly smart individuals. Amy had to blur her background because she had too many smart things going on back there. She is currently located in the evidence room, uncovering the whereabouts of DB Cooper, apparently. And we have Meghan over there, who is in a professional recording studio because she is the utmost professional. Wow, the wheels are falling off my intro here. I am collapsing. Both of you are wonderful people. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Lance. We're excited. Lance, I noticed you have blue hair.
I do have blue hair.
It's a Zoom trick. Don't let them fool you.
It's not a Zoom trick. I committed to the crawl space blue color, and foreseeable future, we're going blue. We're going blue.
Oh, I think it
brings out your eyes.
Yeah.
My eyes are a Zoom trick, though. That is a Zoom color.
Yep, they're actually black. Just
black as coal.
If you watching this on the Twitter,
yes.
or on the Facebook, why don't you just click your butt, toggle yourself on over to YouTube. You can find us at youtube.com/crawlspace. Very clean URL right there. And you can just click on the video that says I'm live via Crawlspace and join the chat room. We're going to be hanging out here for about an hour with the Women in Crime, Amy and Meghan, the doctors, the good doctors, potted us of Women in Crime. And we're going to be talking some crime and some podcasts, and we're just going to have a lot of fun tonight. How you doing?
Just always having fun. And I have a question. Is one of you the tech guy, or are you both like good with like all this stuff?
I think we're both good with it, but I think Tim, like, you can't have too many cooks in the kitchen. Like Tim will run the tech part of a show like this, because like if both of us are trying to like press buttons, it would just get like too confusing. So yeah. I bring the blue hair. Tim brings the big brain.
I was literally about to say that, just so you know. Like, you brought the hair to this operation. So.
And my shirt matches your eyes and your hair, so it's coming.
I planned that.
Did you guys coordinate ahead of time? I'm pretty sure you did.
We did it up here
telepathically.
Well, we're happy to be here, psyched to talk about lots of stuff with you guys.
Literally, there's no agenda. We did not give you any plan for what we're going to talk about, other than if you have some cases, some episodes that are coming up that you want to, you're excited about. Love to hear about what you have coming up. And we have a full house that's on the YouTube page right now.
Yes.
Ginger, Aaron, Ashley Hall, Aaron,
what
Ginger.
Is
where
going
do you see
on?
Where do you see this? Because I only see us four.
There is some chat going on. If you can find the video on YouTube and click to that specific page, then there is a chat that scrolls, and there are some folks in there. What's going on, chat room?
I love it. Let's chat. I've got stuff to talk about.
Good.
I'm looking it up because I obviously am old and don't know how to do this. Okay.
I don't know how to do it, so I'm just going to talk, and like I'll field like if anyone wants to pass along a chat, because I just
Yeah, they just said you sound dumb already. Can you believe it?
Oh my goodness, they're so mean.
I feel like if I try to go on another page, I will literally leave this like conversation and not come back. I don't think I'm dumb. I think I'm just older.
I'm just kidding. I think you're brilliant.
Age has nothing to do with it. You would be fine. You're not old. It's fine.
All right. You know what? I can't figure it out, so I'm just. It's all
now, what are they going to say about you? I look better because I didn't try.
No, someone just sent it to me. You know what? I can't figure it out, so I'm just.
Oh, there we go.
Say about you, I look better because I didn't try.
There's a bit of a delay.
Oh, I see. Okay, you better mute that.
Yeah, you got to mute the video when you're watching on YouTube.
I tried it. It's too much.
It's too much.
That I swear.
Well,
But we will
what's
read
going
the
on?
comments
Mhm.
if there's something that's yeah, you got a big glass of gin right there.
Lance, it's vodka.
Oh, my bad.
The vodka.
It's not really vodka. Is it really vodka?
Yeah, it's a vodka with raspberry lime.
Oh, no ice.
Oh,
No, I had ice. It melted like quickly. I don't know what's happening here. I didn't do enough ice. I ran in. Yeah, it's been a day. So things that we are obsessed with right now is, are you guys following the prison, correction officer scandal?
yeah.
Oh,
Like,
God.
Yeah.
I mean, that's one of the
Let's
things.
talk about that.
I feel like it has to have a little bit of attention. First of all, I'd like to say that I thought she was, if I had to guess, I thought she was probably deceased before. I thought he would have, the prisoner would have kind of used her, gotten rid of her, fled on his own, taken the money, so I was actually surprised she was still alive. Anyone
Can you
else?
give us a little background of the whole thing? Because I tend to see these things on a television that's muted. So if I'm at the gym or something, like I'll see it and I just kind of try to follow the captions and then I'll read about it later on.
Right. Okay, Amy, do you
Give
want
me
to
a little background?
Yeah, so I mean, I'm not fully versed in it, but I can tell you what I know is the second highest official at a jail in Alabama left with a very high profile inmate who was being charged with 2 counts of capital murder. She was taking him to what she said was a mental health appointment. So she left with him. It turns out there was no appointment and nobody questioned her because she was high up. So they kind of just took it for, she knew what she was doing, whatever. She turns out that she was retiring the next day. Turns out she never came back with this gentleman and the two of them went on the run. It comes out that they had a pre-existing relationship for about 2 years. She was, if I recall, about 20 years his senior.
Yes.
And yeah, this was very much planned. Like she sold off a car, she sold off a house, got like 90,000 in cash. It was very much a planned thing. And these two ran off together.
Amy, I love how you're like, I don't really know much about it, but let me tell you the exact details. I know you're obsessed with this, so you're like,
I know.
That was my disclaimer. So if I sounded like I didn't know what I meant, it's like, well, I already said I didn't know everything. So
Okay,
I didn't know everything.
But
basically they were found in Indiana because they're idiots. And no, I don't want to say that. So she bought a car in cash.
Right. Well, you're right. So they planned for a while, but then once they actually got on the run, the plan wasn't really well thought out past that point, it seems.
He wore a hat. She wore a wig. He lost a ton of weight, it seemed, in a short period of time. There were no surveillance videos of her anywhere that they've made public. So I don't know what her look was.
I wish we knew what the plan actually was. Like Amy and I were discussing it earlier because obviously what else would we be talking about all day? But we don't know if where they got caught in Indiana, but where was the plan? Where were they going? And I mean, he's probably not going to talk to authorities because they're not going to offer him any type of deal, I would imagine. So, but I'm just so curious, like where were they ever going to head for a border? Were they going to hole up in a cabin in the woods? Were they, I've heard people say, they escaped from Alabama and they went through Tennessee. Why not just live in the mountains in Tennessee, like, rural life off the grid? So I would love to know. That's like my burning question above all, just what was the plan?
I would also like to know if it's possible that he actually was in love with her or if he was just, I'm assuming he was using her as a vehicle, as a means to an end. She seems like she was very vulnerable and he preyed on her and made her, groomed her essentially for a while to make her think, that he was in love with her. Like Meghan said, I'm surprised he didn't get rid of her sooner, especially since she had all that cash. I also wonder, we were talking, me and Meghan, she allegedly shot herself in the head. And I'm wondering, did he kill her? But why would he have killed her at that point? I don't know.
I don't think he did at that point. But I also, oh gosh, I had one more thing that I wanted to say. I forget what it was.
Yeah, because I kept going. I'm sorry.
I know. No, it was good. You had good stuff, but I had something else like that I wanted to know about the situation, like something with her. I'll think of it as we
I'll
go.
keep going.
Was it something about his moobs?
Oh no, I'm sorry. What I wanted to say was, and that was, a good transition for me. Thank you. Was that I wondered if, Amy just said like, he was grooming her, but typically we talk about how people in authority are she was the authoritative, the power figure. So she had the control, you might say. But I've heard from, different offenders that perspective that no, they're, the power dynamic works both ways in the prison setting. So even though you might assume, well, she was the one in authority or the authority figure, he could totally have been also grooming her, or it could be genuine love. Who knows? Either way, it was a really bad plan. I feel like it's never a good plan. How many
Well,
prison escapes have been successful? Sorry.
I know, right? I was actually just going to say that. Like, how many times do you hear about a prison escape that I guess I guess in modern society with social media and everything, you can always get the news in some way pretty
Right.
quickly. I mean, I don't think I when I saw this, I was like, people still escape from prison at all? Like, they still think they can do this?
Well, they can apparently because they did. So I mean,
Escape, but they're almost always caught.
Yeah. Well, okay. So what I saw was what I learned about this today was that she had a self-inflicted gunshot wound and she's still alive, right?
No.
Oh, she
Oh,
passed
she's
away.
dead. Oh,
Yeah.
she's dead. Okay. See, this is how out of touch I am with this whole thing.
Come on, it happened like
but-
9 hours ago.
I know.
but he gave himself up. So when I saw this, I thought to myself, maybe they had this, suicide murder or a suicide pact, and she went first. He convinced her to go first, and then he just got out of the car and was like, all right, I'm done.
Well, might I add that the first thing he said to the officers when he got out of the car is, help my wife. She shot herself. I didn't do it. So,
well, that sounds like true love.
I mean, he's already accused of 2 capital crimes. I think he just wanted to get in front of this one.
Yeah, it wasn't me.
I also feel like, Vicky could have had a pretty decent defense.
Yeah.
Had she made it through this arrest and made it to trial, they definitely would have turned on each other.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. So you think she could have had the good, like he forced me. I was scared of
duress. Yeah.
100%. Yeah, I think so.
I don't know. I agree with you, but then I think about how much planning had gone into it. Like, she put in her retirement. That was her last day of work. The next day, her retirement started. Like, she had a ton of cash. She made these appointments. So it was like very well thought out. If it was more spur of the moment, I think that would be a better argument. Like, if he was just like, I'm going to kill you.
What are you, a lawyer?
Do this. What'd you say?
What are you, a lawyer?
I'm not a lawyer.
You're trying to make us sound dumb?
Yeah.
That's what I'm here for. Isn't that why you invited me?
Yeah, take us
I'm
down
not a lawyer either.
My eye keeps popping out from behind Lance, and Megan's giving me the stink eye over there.
I'm not giving you a
No, look in the poster behind Lance.
Oh,
Oh my God.
okay.
Oh, that does look like I'm giving you the stink eye. But
I keep popping out. I'm like, hello.
I was giving James the stink eye because he took that photo, remember?
Yes.
So my stink eye wasn't directed at you, just so you know. Sorry. So that's one case we're obsessed with right now. And I just can't believe what happens with that one. I mean,
it's a pretty wild one. Yeah. And so Casey White is the suspect who's in custody, and Vicky White is the deceased and no relation.
Mm-hmm.
So weird.
Okay, see, I think that was my confusion too, was I thought that they were already in a marriage.
I wonder if that was like his intro, like, hey, you're Officer White, I'm, Casey White, like his move, like his game.
Maybe. Could have been.
Maybe it was hers. Who knows? Can't wait to see how this.
What was the age difference?
20 years.
She was 20 years his senior.
Am I looking at the right pictures?
Yeah, he
How
was
old
in
is
his,
she?
He looks so much older.
Yeah.
Lot of drugs, lot of years of a lot of drugs. Could
And I
age
think her photo was a little bit older. So I think we're looking at an older photo of her and a photo of him that reflects a very hard life.
Yeah.
Because he was, I think, 38. He's 38. And I was like, whoa, I would not have guessed that either.
Now the eye is really distracting me here.
Sorry.
Oh no.
Especially my brows look really nice in that picture though. So okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
There it is. You look
that's
good.
like some blue steel shit right there, right?
Hey, what's the difference between giving someone a hairy eyeball and stink eye? You mentioned stink eye.
I
that
never
you were
heard of
giving.
hairy eye.
You
Oh,
never
but-
heard of hairy eyeball?
Yeah, the hairy eyeball, I think, is clearly when you're like
Squinting?
scowling, like, yeah, you're squinting
Okay.
a little bit, so then your eyelashes are kind of covering your
Oh,
eyeball. like
that
that.
makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah.
And the
Okay.
stink eye, I think, could simply be any kind of dirty look.
Like a glare more like.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think Tim's assessment is right. My mom used to say hairy eye all the time.
Really? That's so funny. I
Yeah.
never heard that.
You know, it's like a weird thing to say. Like, whoever thought to put hairy with an eye? I just
I'm
don't
sorry to change the subject back to true crime here, but I don't want to talk Sherry.
Pardon
Papini.
us.
we weren't talking what you want to talk. Sherry Papini.
Sherry Papini.
Yes. Yes, I would love to talk some Sherry Papini. I saw you covered her case a little bit recently back in March
Oh,
on your
you follow
podcast.
us? That's so
I,
nice.
of course we do. Yeah, tell us a little bit about this case. I know it's sort of been a story that's taken years now to kind of develop and the truth to finally be out there. Yeah, tell us a little bit about this.
Amy, you covered it, so you want to take it?
Yeah, I'll do it, and then you could talk a little bit about like the update stuff. So long story short, Sherry Papini one day goes out for a run. Young mother of 2 young children, blonde, beautiful, probably in her 20s, maybe 30s, I don't remember. But she went out for a run, and then she seemingly disappears. And there's this huge manhunt for her. No one knows where she is. All they find is her earbuds and her cell phone, like on the side of the road. She reappears. Meghan, I can't remember how long after was it. Do you?
3 weeks.
Okay. See, even though it was mine, I still can't get the details. So 3 weeks later, she shows up on the side of a road. Her hair's chopped off. She's battered, bruised, shackled. She's branded, like has a random branding on her. You know, she was
85 pounds. She was a tiny girl, like, 105, but she went from 105 pounds to 85 pounds.
So she was like very sickly, very much not in good shape. She had black eyes. She couldn't really tell the police much other than, 2 Hispanic women had kidnapped her.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And that was really, it just became kind of a cold case, and people started suspecting that is it possible that she like gone girled herself. Okay. But because of another case nearby, Denise Huskins, who we actually spoke to Denise and her husband on our podcast. Denise Huskins was a lady who was kidnapped in California, and no one believed her. And it turns out she was actually a victim. So people falsely believed that she had gone girled herself when it turned out she was in fact brutalized. So because of that, people were hesitant to do that again, which I think is the right thing. As me and Meghan said several times on the podcast, we would rather believe a victim any day, over, the opposite. So it turns out that, Meghan, what ends up happening?
Shockingly, I have to say, the police gathered the evidence which showed that Sherry Papini did this. She did gone girl herself, essentially. They found out that she had gotten in touch with an ex-boyfriend and recruited him to help her kind of disappear for a couple of weeks. And I think what's even more so shocking is that these couple of weeks weren't like, fun. There's that story, Quinn Gray. I don't know if you guys remember her, where she kind of did the same thing, but she was with a boyfriend, and, it was just like a fun time for her. She was trying to get money out of her husband. Sherry Papini spent 3 weeks like in a bedroom in her ex-boyfriend's house by herself. He was not with her. There was no intimacy. She spent her time starving herself,
Beating herself
up, smashing her head in a bathtub. She had her ex-boyfriend, who thought it was, of course, like really strange, go out and get a brand. What do you call that? The thing you brand with? I'm not sure. Yeah, it's not a brander, doctor, but she had him brand her. She cut her own hair off. I mean, this was not a fun vacation for this woman. She really seemed to, even at her own hand, suffer greatly. So this is, very, very perplexing, I think, to
And
us.
many issues arose because besides the fact that she wasted resources, she took away time from other cases. There was almost like this race war because people were like looking for these Hispanic women who
Say that.
kidnapped her.
You said you didn't say that before, but she had alleged that 2 Hispanic females were the ones
Yeah.
who kidnapped her. So then,
Mhm.
yeah, there was all this, profiling going on and innocent people, being targeted. And so, I mean, it's really become, it's a shocker.
And she finally pled guilty. So that's a spoiler alert. Is she pled guilty? Her husband filed for divorce and custody of the children. And that's really, I guess, where we are today. That happened I guess a couple of weeks ago.
I'm sure we're going to see a movie come out about her soon.
Oh, definitely.
I mean, yeah, probably a couple, but that's where we are. It's a crazy story, right, guys?
No, it totally is. What's the reason behind this? And did she do anything like this in the past? Was there any examples of a psychological breakdown?
There were signs of mental illness from an early age. Meghan, what was it? There was a lot of false police reports.
Yeah,
And
she had false police reports earlier on. She also had broken into a family member's house, if I'm not mistaken, stolen things. She definitely had, it looked like, if you looked at her past events, I mean, none of it was incredibly serious, but it looked like almost a buildup to what, I would call sort of a break here. I mean, she
Yeah.
planned it, but I liked when we talked about it in our show, obviously everyone is upset with her, and rightfully so. She wasted police resources, took time away from real victims, but I think that she suffers.
she's ill.
I think she's definitely a very sick girl. Or sick woman, I should say.
Mhm.
I'm not necessarily sure, what she's suffering from. Like, there's a couple of different indicators, but I wouldn't quite know. I'd be really curious. I wish there was with her plea agreement. I don't know if there's going to be a psychiatric evaluation, but I would be very interested to see what that would reveal.
And Devin in the comment area here on YouTube asks, she collected victims. She says she collected victims' money after this was.
Oh, yeah.
Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah. So she was charged with check fraud because she was taking money from the victims' compensation fund in California. So that was actually her first charge, is that they charged her with mail fraud and some other fraudulent behavior because she was, she had a GoFundMe, the family had a GoFundMe, and then she was also withdrawing money for mental health services and, again, money that could be used for actual victims.
But
So-
interestingly, she was seeking mental health treatment, correct, Amy?
Correct. She did use some of the money for other things. Like, she was like buying stuff off Amazon. But
so I just wonder, she did seem to want to utilize or access mental health treatment. I just wish we knew exactly, or more, not exactly, but more what that was about,
Yeah. Do you think like the money thing is just like a not an excuse, but maybe it's someone's doing it for the thrill of doing it, and they have to bring in like some sort of theft. Like they need to give people an excuse. Does that make sense? Maybe she just didn't think that like the thrill wasn't enough.
No, I think she just had to play the part.
Right.
They didn't need. I don't think they needed the money.
Digging her
No,
heels
that's
in so far.
Yeah, that's what I'm
that,
saying. Sorry, that's a much better way to put it. Yeah.
Okay.
She's like overdoing it, over sort of dramatizing her lies.
Oh yeah, I mean she had to, because at that point she had to stick with the story. That was the story, so she needed to, get the victim money and needed to, look like a victim and whatever else.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna throw out something that the doctors here can wrap their significant brains around.
Yeah.
What if this was a white man who did this? What do you think the reaction would be?
Well,
I think I was gonna say, the better question.
They can't even talk it. Oh, I love it.
No, I think the better question is, what if it was a person of color?
That's what I think the better question is too.
Well, I was going to go down that route, but I didn't want to get into the Jussie Smollett.
Gotcha. Okay, so you're just wondering if she was a man.
Yeah.
You mean what would be the reaction or?
Yeah. Bless you. Oh my goodness. Oh, bless you. Oh, allergies.
Amy,
I'm allergic to that line of questioning. I'm sorry.
obviously, a really bad reaction to that. I think that a man would be certainly more. I do think she's been, demonized to some degree, and rightfully so. But I think it'd be much worse for a male.
You
You
know
think
what?
it'd be
I
much
disagree.
worse?
I disagree because she was demonized because she's a mom who left her kids. Meghan, you know how we love talking about
Ooh.
gender
No,
roles.
that's true. Actually, you know what? I will. As I'm looking at this, I'm thinking like people wouldn't be as sympathetic to a male as they are to a female.
Yeah, but people are actually giving her, I think, more slack because she had
Because
she had money, she had these 2 beautiful children. It's like, what more do you want? And here you go. And like,
It could be true. Either way, that could be right. Yeah, I'm not really sure. I have seen mixed reactions though, especially like we get emails, we get messages about their cases, and they're, I would say, pretty evenly balanced with people who are like, I can't believe she did this, with other people saying, she's a sick woman. Like there's something way deep beneath the surface here that the, people who are judging her outright just aren't seeing. So,
well,
no.
I have to say, I'm on Team Sherry completely, all the
What?
way here. Sorry, just gonna expected a laugh. No, I'm not on Team Sherry.
wait, were
yeah,
you
I thought
the
it
guy she was
despicable.
with?
No, it wasn't me.
He actually wasn't at CrimeCon last week.
Oh my God.
I the one part about this story that I find really well, there's a lot of parts that are outrageous, but the I guess race baiting that she willingly put out there, saying that they were, what she said, Mexican or Latino or something like that. Sort of a really weird angle to this. And
Well, she had a history. Sorry to interrupt, but I just want to throw in, she had a history of some online behavior. Apparently when she was that was nice synchronized drinking right there. Did you plan that? That
Yep.
was beautiful.
Good, well done.
So apparently in high school, she went to a high school with a large population of people who were Latino. And apparently she had some issues with some girls growing up. And then she wrote on a blog some derogatory comments. So I think that's why she had something. It seems like she had some issue with women who were Hispanic, which is why maybe she did that. Maybe she just, that was the first thing that came to mind. Who knows?
I think she also had to use females and not males because to explain the lack of a sexual assault, which we would typically think would be a motive for abducting a woman off the road. You know what I mean? So I think like females were definitely a choice for that reason.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Now, is there any way that she would receive any compensation if a docu-series or a narrative series or a movie were made about this?
She could. It depends. Not every state has the Son of Sam laws, which are, that you cannot basically profit off of your crime. It's like a false myth that all states have that. They don't. So it's definitely possible that she could, if someone wanted to consult with her for a book, for a movie, she could profit off of it.
Or maybe her
I
family
see.
and her children can. That would be better.
Yeah, I see. And that's a good point you brought up, that not every state has the Son of Sam laws. I think that's like you said, that's a misconception that is a thing. Is that a reason? And should we as a production and media company approach her for her rights here? I mean, are we set to make some cash here?
Wait, this is a serious question.
I'll-
It's like serious. Well, how do you want to approach her, Lance? What's your approach? What's your idea?
I'm just going to come with a blank checkbook.
Or we could do a documentary. Meghan can play her.
I think you would be more appropriate at her. She was very tiny, like you. So, it'd be
But she
more
had short hair when she was found.
Well, I think we could take a really
Both of you.
we'll take a really avant-garde approach, a really surrealist approach. We could all play her the way
Ooh.
like they did the Bob Dylan movie where like Kate Blanchett was playing Bob Dylan and like everyone played a
Yeah.
version of Bob Dylan. I think that's the way to go.
Okay. I'm in.
I'm in.
I really,
We'll get our checkbook too.
I feel
Or
like the
blank
husband,
checkbooks.
the role of the husband though, it's got a lot of teeth to it. I would love that role.
You could
I
sink
think I
those
could
teeth,
do
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
and even the ex-boyfriend. I mean, I would love to just get in there and see what was going through his head when he branded her.
Explore that. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? I want to be the guy who sold the branding thing. I want to
It was some guy at Hobby Lobby. It was like a cashier at Hobby Lobby.
Yeah.
Bobby,
I want that cameo.
you think that has enough depth for you though, Lance? Like just being like a, kind of a small part and not really exploring like.
See, some people they run marathons, they're really good at it. Some people do a sprint, they're really good at it. That's how I approach my acting. I'm a quick hitter. I'll be in there, I'll leave the impression. I'll almost steal the show in like a minute and a half.
Yeah. I would just say you probably play several roles. Like you probably also play the first responding officer and, and things like that, you know, like kind of quick things. But I can really see you in that Hobby Lobby when I go in and me and Sherry, we check out with the branding thing and you're like, huh? And you look at us.
They don't look
and you
like
can kind of tell. And in the close up, you can kind of tell that something's going on in your head.
They don't look like cowboys. That's yeah.
I'm sorry to throw a wrench. I'm sorry to throw a wrench in the production, but Sherry was not with the boyfriend at the Hobby.
I was going to point that out.
So strong. This is a dramatized version.
We could adapt.
Yeah,
we're taking some creative liberties.
We'll take some liberties. Yeah. Have you seen Winning Time? Yeah.
I'll give the two of you the old hairy eyeball as you're leaving.
All right, so I look forward to our production. So which one of us do we think should approach her team? She's probably gonna
I got to go prepare for the role, so I'm going to get a job at a Hobby Lobby. So it can't be me.
She's really good at PR.
There you go. Does nobody know what this means? Is that like a sleepaway? Not it. Okay, not it. Okay. Yeah. Do you guys have that where you're from? That's like an East Coast thing.
You're touching your nose?
I guess.
Yeah, like not it.
Like who's going to
do your nose?
Yeah, so if you say like who's going to play her and I go like this, that means I'm already not going to do it.
Me too.
Oh, I thought you were pointing at yourself like I'm playing her.
No, I was doing the opposite, like not it.
Wait, you guys don't know the not it?
I think maybe I was like a thumb on the table.
A thumb on the table. Yeah, I know the thumb on the table.
Yeah, on the nose for us.
Yeah.
Interesting.
All right.
Recently, like weird aliens.
I saw it recently, Amy. Did you see? Not to change topic, but there is a great Netflix. Was it a series or a movie? I can't remember. Unbelievable with Toni Collette and Meredith. No, what's her name? Meryl
Streep.
No, it's not Meryl Streep.
Meredith Baxter.
Okay, no, she's a phenomenal. No, don't guess again. Phenomenal actress, but you're not gonna get it. But anyway, so they did like that whole thing, like who's gonna go do this, and everyone in the room's doing this, and the detective is like, I don't get it. What is that? So it's a thing. If you guys want to look, want to watch the movie, I'm just letting you know it's a thing.
I do like Toni Collette.
Oh, she's great. She's great. Have you guys?
You should play Sherry.
There you go.
Have you been watching The Staircase on HBO, the new version there? It's pretty good.
Thinking about it, but I know the case so well, and like I just don't know, is it worth it to watch? Like I guess I know other cases that I've watched, but this one has been like I've done like a lot of time in it, so I didn't know who's playing Michael Peterson.
Colin Firth. Yeah.
Oh, wow, that's good. He's good.
See, I feel like the only way they could tell this story again in that sort of forum is to have someone like Toni Collette and Colin Firth, like because it's been told so many times. Like his story has been told in some way so many times.
Sorry, is Toni Collette too?
Toni Collette's in it as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's why you brought it up, because I'm like,
yes.
Okay. Oh, she's so good. Oh, okay. I can see that. How many is it like released in full, or is there just a few episodes?
At the moment, I believe there's only 3 episodes out. I've seen 2 of them. I think it might just be 3 that airs, and they're an hour long. And they were really the first 2 were great. And I don't know the story that well. Kind of surprised at myself.
True crime podcaster are you?
I'm a poser. I'm a real phony.
Have you not seen any of like the documentary with him, or so you hadn't seen that stuff? That's good because I
saw some of it.
I would watch the movie if I was like you, like I knew the case, but I didn't know it like inside and out. Then I would want to watch the series. I guess maybe because Tony Collette and Colin Firth are in it, I might give it a go. What about you, Aim?
Nope. I don't watch TV anymore. Remember?
Yeah, what happened? You used to watch.
Good for
TV.
you.
Thank you. I think I'm just depressed. I don't know. Like, why would someone stop watching Netflix? You know what? I think there's too many. It's overwhelming. I can't. There's too many things I want to watch. So I'm very like, it's easier for me to just be like, all right, then I'll watch nothing.
I don't.
Well, you're not
understand.
alone with Netflix. A lot of people have stopped watching Netflix lately. And,
I can't handle Netflix. I can't handle looking at Netflix.
Is it
I don't
just-
like how I don't like how they rearrange the like the thumbnail art on the like the cover art for the like they don't use the traditional they use like a
Really?
screenshot and they put it on the
Oh,
thumbnail.
yeah.
I can't stand that. Like
I
they're
guess they
trying to tell
change
me-
it. It's
Yeah,
part
they
of
keep
their
changing it.
part of
Yeah.
their thing. I think every 3 months or something.
just-
If you haven't
Yeah.
clicked on it, they actually change it.
That's actually
Yeah.
what's bothering you. I'm like, that's the thing. Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe
No,
you're-
Yeah,
I
it's
just have
awful.
decision fatigue. Too many options. It's too much.
Well,
Decision
you know,
fatigue. I like that.
if it's decision fatigue, you just need a few more services.
I have them all. That's the problem.
2 more monthly subscriptions, a few more pluses.
Yeah.
run out of things actually. I use my treadmill time for like my shows, so I'll do like an hour, like a Hulu show, but I'm like all caught up. I need something new in my life.
Have you watched White Lotus? I keep hearing about that.
Oh yeah,
Is that good?
that one was great. Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
I like White Lotus a lot. I'm big on HBO. You know, I feel like some of the HBO shows are excellent, whereas the Netflix ones, I think leave a little left to be desired there
Yeah.
lately, at least.
I
Yeah.
love how this turned into like a critique panel of Netflix.
Well,
Yeah.
we're entering into the culture part of the crime and culture night.
I'm going to give me like a quick one-liner synopsis of White Lotus, so I know whether or not I want to go check it out.
Yeah, it's like it's set on like a resort, I believe in Hawaii, and there are sort of a lot of storylines that kind of converge, and it's a lot of like relationship drama. It's really kind of a dramedy that really like ramps up to kind of craziness by the end. I would highly recommend it because of how kind of weird it is. Like acting's fun. It's just a really fun show.
Got it. Okay. I'm gonna
You'll
check
have
it out.
basically no idea what's going to happen. The music is it's great, jarring. It's really good.
All right. I like it. I also started 2 nights ago. I started Candy on Hulu.
Oh, is that good?
I'm reserving judgment because was the first episode, so I think there were some parts that were a little slow, but I'm really intrigued and I know the case, and I definitely want to like it. I'm just not sure yet, but I'm like that. I don't like. I need to give it an episode or two. At the end, I was like, okay, I see where we're going, and I think I'm interested. You know, so it's only a 5. They released it. It's only a 5 episode, 5 night release, which I love because I can just binge it. But I think it's going to be interesting. We've gotten several requests, Amy, for people who wanted us to cover the Candy Montgomery and Betty Gore story. And for those who don't know it, and I won't spoil, let's say, the series, but for anyone who's interested, it's about 2 women who were friends, but one of them had an affair. So Candy Montgomery had an affair with Betty Gore's husband. She was also married at the time. And Betty Gore does wind up,
Killing.
She winds up murdered. And so it's a question that doesn't give it away. That's like the premise on which it begins. The question is, and who did it first of all, and then if it's Candy, was it like a murder? Was it self-defense? Like there's all these questions that come about, and what really becomes the focus of the story is the trial and the outcome of someone involved. So I find it interesting, and I'm going to hang in there, and I'm going to watch those 4 other episodes, and hopefully I'll appreciate it. Yeah.
The only thing I've watched is Forgetting Sarah Marshall, and I will continue to watch that every day for the rest of my life.
You watch that all the time. That's not even.
It's just so like it just gets better and better. It's just the best movie.
How many times have you watched it though?
I don't know. I love it though.
All right.
Okay.
It is a good one.
It is a good movie. Have you guys covered at all, or are you interested in covering? Speaking of docuseries, I just can't get this out of my head. The Jimmy Savile, a British horror story, the one that's on Netflix.
I
I
don't
don't
know.
think I know that. No. Tell
Oh
us.
God. It's he was a DJ turned TV star who raised like 44 million pounds in Britain. He was Prince Charles and Princess Diana's like confidant. And he was this like huge fundraiser, and he did this show that featured like pop artists, and he was like always the mover, the shaker. He had this, bleach blonde hair, kind of like a striking look.
Now I know who you're talking about.
Oh my
Yes.
God. And he's molested up to 400 children.
What?
Yes, I know exactly who you're talking about. I just didn't know the name. Yes.
Ugh.
I think James and I started watching something on that. It was crazy. I mean, yeah, it was up to like 400 kids. He's
I
like this.
can't get it out of my head. It's called A British Horror Story on Netflix. Jimmy Savile. Oh
Yeah.
my God.
I'm
And the worst
assuming
is-
he's in prison now. Dead.
No, he's dead. He's dead.
Okay.
He died of I guess natural causes. And then all of these accusations came out like sort of while he was sick, and then he died. And they ended up ripping up his tombstone. Like, he was knighted. They knighted this guy.
Yeah.
He would the worst part is he would go to these institutions that housed troubled young individuals, both male and female, and he would just have his way with them. He would just pick them up and drive them away in his car, and no one did anything because he would raise money for charity.
Wow.
And it is fucking crazy that the most prolific like child molester in history in the world.
He literally is. James told me about it. Now I just didn't remember the name, but James was telling me about it. We watched something on it, and I was like mind blown. Hundreds of victims, timing where no one did anything. He was this larger than life. He was such a personality. You know who he reminds me of? Tiger
Tim
King.
Poliri. What? Thought I was muted.
He reminds me of Tiger King. What's his name? Joe Exotic.
Yeah.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Right?
But I mean, like,
But
but
just in terms of like the personality and the,
Yeah.
he's this huge, the blonde like personality. I don't know. He just reminded me of him.
yeah. So the question that I was going to pose is, do you think that there is a legitimate justification in someone like his, like in his mind, he was raising all of this money for charity as a way to balance it out, and he said it too. Like when he passed through the gates in heaven, he wanted to know that he had he had a clean bill of health. So whatever he did that was bad, he could balance it out by raising $1 million.
Yeah, of course.
I'm laughing because Meghan, when I say 3, let's say what theory we're talking. Let's see if we're on the same page. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Techniques of neutralization.
Sorry.
You
Sorry.
missed my count, but I know you knew what I was going to say, and you were going to.
I totally did. Sorry. I was just, I was going to say neutralization. You start with techniques,
Sorry.
like-
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, you just did a very nice job, Lance, of explaining a theory that we call techniques of neutralization, whereby someone neutralizes their criminal behavior in various ways. And I think,
how do they do they neutralize their guilt because they know they're doing something wrong, but they can neutralize it by like these techniques where they deny a victim, deny the injury, deny
responsibility. And that's what enables them to keep doing it again, because they don't feel bad about it, because in their mind, there's a justification.
And I'm going to geek out one more second and just take this to also, I got a second theory. Do you know what I got or no? When someone has a lot of power,
control,
balance, control balance theory.
Yeah.
When someone has too little control or too much control, they commit crimes. So in this case, he has so much, he has a lack of control over him, right? He is powerful. He can do anything he wants. So people like this tend to commit these types of crimes of almost greed and entitlement. Wow. Sorry.
Additionally, that's very interesting, and I'm glad we're going down this road here with the the theories and again, not justifications, but the internal workings in his mind and people like that. When he was a child, not a child, when he was in his like early teens, I think he was working in a mine. I don't know what kind of mine, but he was working in a mine, and he was injured, and he had to, I guess, relearn how to walk.
Interesting.
Does that contribute to that? Like when you come so close to being killed or paralyzed and you overcome that?
Well, it sounds to me that this would be like the neurological perspective under biological or biosocial theory. When someone has a brain injury, then, there's definitely a correlation between brain injuries and offending. Because it could be, lack of self-control or impulsivity or all these other, personality traits that can be affected by a brain injury. Megan, were you thinking that?
That's exactly what I was thinking. Sometimes I think we are the same brain.
Same brain.
Yeah, and then you combine it with like sociological factors, like we just explained those theories of control or techniques, and you have a perfect storm.
And I don't know anything about his childhood. I'm wondering if there were other things going on. Like, was he molested as a child? And if so, then.
But by all accounts, he wasn't. There's like interviews with him and his mom, and they seem to have a really good relationship. They're in the same room together talking, and she's giving him some shit and he's giving it back, and they're laughing. And it doesn't seem like that there was.
It could have been, it could have been a neighbor, the mother's ex.
It could have been.
Who knows? But,
could have been.
It could have been no one. It could have been that he had a perfectly fine childhood, and either biologically or sociologically, or
a little of everything.
Yeah, it could be a little bit of everything.
And LA Not So Confidential, I believe it's Shiloh there in the chat, says, does that contribute to pedophilic disorder?
I'm sorry, say that again. I got too excited that she was here. So what did you say?
Sorry.
She says this.
I thought the same thing. I was waving, going, hi, Shiloh. Sorry.
She says, does that contribute to pedophilic disorder?
Got it. I was thinking of the same thing, but you know what, Shiloh? I'm also thinking you could probably answer that question better than us.
She does follow it up by saying that it was a rhetorical question.
Okay.
I knew that because we've interviewed Shiloh on our show a number of times. We definitely go to her as somewhat of an expert in this area for a couple of different things. So I'm sure.
What a show off.
I know, bragger.
Shiloh the show off. No, I'm kidding.
Well, okay, we can move on from this topic in 1 minute, but I'm very curious now that we've gone down this path about this guy. He was injured and he was nearly paralyzed and probably nearly killed when he was a young man. Is there some sort of stunting that happens in his development where that and he also claimed to have led a life of extravagance and claimed to have had a lot of girlfriends and claimed to have like this nightlife, and he was always out, and only one reporter challenged him and said, like, we've never found a girlfriend, we've never found we've never found anybody, and he dodged the question all over the place. And it made me think, is there a chance that time of his accident, when he was right at that developmental age as a young man, did that stunt him like sexually, and that's why he goes towards individuals of that age?
What age was he?
I believe he was like maybe 12, 13-ish. He was old enough to be put to work, but he wasn't like an adult.
An interesting theory.
I don't know. I'd say that's a possibility, but I wouldn't think that that's the reason why. Although it's possible, because we definitely know that there have been people who, when we're talking about brain injuries, act so differently afterwards, have committed acts against, let's say, a child, or, it totally changes their personality. So it's hard to know without knowing him really well. I don't know. I suspect that wasn't the cause, but it's possible.
It could be part of, a conglomerate of causes.
I just wouldn't know enough to feel like comfortable saying, like, I think it's more likely this or that. I don't know. I guess I'll have to watch the documentary now.
Yeah, I got to check that one out too. And Shiloh says that's not a thing either.
That's not a thing.
I guess
either.
not. It does sound
Yeah.
like it has some logic there, but I
So
guess she would
Shiloh,
know. Whatever. She
Yes,
went to
she would know
school for it.
I guess she went to school for it.
Ooh.
I don't see Shiloh's thing, but Shiloh, I'm not saying stunted, but certainly if there was some type of brain injury or something, it could alter his behavior. No? I mean, we know that happens criminologically, so I'm wondering why that
I
wouldn't.
think she was shooting down Lance's theory of
being
this
stunted.
kind of like the
Oh.
sexual stunting.
Oh, she's saying that is determined in utero. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I think it was an interesting theory. I
Maybe
thought
we
it.
should send Shiloh the Zoom link and she can hop in.
I would
Yeah.
love that.
Yeah. I would love that.
No, Lance, I thought it was a little far-fetched, but I was like willing to give you the benefit of the doubt,
Well, I think
was-
I was being influenced by the book Lolita and the main character who was in love with when he was a young man, he was in love with this girl who died, and that's why he was attracted to young women.
Oh.
I think you were falsely influenced by that for sure.
It's just where my brain went. I'm not falsely influenced by the book. Don't start making this into something weird.
You leave him
All right.
alone.
All right. Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I mean, I was just what can I say?
I don't
All right,
read that every day.
We got about 10 minutes to go here on Crime and Culture Live. I want to say big thanks to the chat room. Very active tonight. How's it going, everybody? And before we go, though, I do want to sort of bring up
30,000 people in there.
big a topic that we're not going to have enough time to fully unpack here tonight, but the Johnny
Mothman.
Depp and Amber Heard trial.
Uh,
I'm obsessed. Amy's not following it like I am, but let me just say I'm obsessed. I don't want to cut you off, but I do, and I want to have a whole nother show about this because just so you know, I've been watching the trial like I've almost covered probably 90% of it so far. They're on break this week, and I was like, what?
I don't understand why it's so long.
Well, what do you mean? How long? Because there's
Well, why is it's a defamation? It's not a murder trial.
Yes, but murder trials often don't have the parties testifying. So remember, in most murder trials, you don't have someone like when Jodi Arias took the stand, she was like 20 days on the stand, right? In this case, you have both parties taking the stand, and they're both on the stand for a number of days being cross-examined and whatnot. So just by the very nature of them both testifying, it extends the trial. And oh my gosh, it is so interesting. People have so many different opinions of this. I'm trying to reserve my judgment till the end. But I'm really hyped on it. And I'm not going to lie. I mean, even on my ride home, I've been like hooking in my iPod. Like I've been listening to the trial. Like I just didn't want to miss. I get obsessed like this with certain trials. Like I did. The last one I got this obsessed with was the Jodi Arias one. And I just can't miss a minute of it. So.
I think it feels like it's gone on longer because Johnny Depp had that other libel suit that was going on in the UK. So it feels like this is sort of the same thing because it was only like a few months in between.
He lost that one.
He did lose that one. Yeah. It does bring up a really interesting, not bring up, it does put a bit of a spotlight on the other side of domestic abuse.
How so? I agree.
Well, we don't typically see a nationally televised trial that features a man saying that he was abused by his wife, and the size difference is there, the fame factor is there. I mean, she's famous, but she's not Johnny Depp. Like Johnny Depp is a household name, so all of those come into play when you look at this. I honestly don't know what to feel because I think personally both of them are very disturbed people, and I think that they were very bad to be together. And you bless you.
Sorry.
Stop sneezing.
This topic does it to her as well.
Sorry, allergic to this one too. Sorry, continue.
Yeah. But speaking of allergic, I feel like they were allergic to each other. Like they just couldn't be together. It was it's toxic.
Meghan, why are people so obsessed with this case? Because they're famous?
I think it's because, well, A, they're famous, yes. B, what Lance just said, you don't often see the side where it's a male accusing a female, and getting right out in front of it. I mean, the fame part is, I think, what allures people because they don't get this kind of insight into regular celebrities, right? You get like a picture, social media, like the bright side, but this is showing the dark side of, being famous and having some of these issues in your relationship, and they're putting it out there. I mean, let me just say this. Johnny Depp put this out there in the world because he said that, her claims of abuse basically robbed him of roles and other things. And while I don't know if that's true yet or not, I definitely know there's been some definite, like serious evidence at trial that she was abusive. And I don't know yet whether he was, but none of this looks good for him. Because, I mean, what they've unraveled, even if not yet, they haven't shown he was outright abusive, is that, he was a serious substance user and abuser. And, he had very bad moments. I'm just saying, this doesn't, he's being honest, and I definitely credit him for that. But I don't also think that this is going to play well into, his claim that he should have another Pirates of the Caribbean. I don't think this helps him in that regard.
I agree.
Well, yeah. Well, no one wants to see another Pirates movie anyway.
Hey, speak for yourself.
No, I don't. I really don't. I mean, I don't think this is making him, I don't think this is helping him. I don't know. But you know what? If he's truly a victim, and I think there's definitely some victimization they've shown, then maybe I don't blame him. But it's too soon to, we have to wait till the end. Amber Heard is testifying. She hasn't even been cross-examined yet. So I think that we have to wait for that.
Meghan, Twitter has already decided on this one.
What?
Simultaneously trending is Amber Heard is a psychopath, and I stand with Amber Heard. So I literally have no idea what to think.
Yeah. I've seen some geeky forensic analysis of it, and I've watched some segments on behavioral specialists and, the people who are looking at social cues and all of that. Social cues, sorry. And I don't know, what I've seen has been pretty negative towards Amber Heard. And I'm not saying that's my opinion. I'm just saying what I've seen.
Yeah, there's been some a fair amount of negativity towards her. I will say, I don't know what happened in their house. Obviously, I don't know the details of it, the intimate details of it. But I am glad that this didn't turn into like a Phil Hartman situation where you didn't know anything about it, and then you're all of a sudden you're like, what? Like someone died? Like she shot him? Like that was truly shocking. And I think this could have ended that way if it didn't end the way it did. Like, it sounds stupid to say, but I think that this had the potential to be as explosive.
I absolutely agree with you, Lance. This could have definitely been one of those cases.
Mm-hmm.
So luckily it's just, not just, but luckily it's a defamation trial and not a murder trial.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm gonna geek out and follow this, guys, just so you know. And I'm gonna send you updates if you want them, because
Are we gonna cover it on Women in Crime? I'm not.
Somebody asked me that. Yeah, I know you did. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna cover it. I want to see how the trial plays out though before we do, because I want to be able to do have the deepest dive on it. So yeah.
Yeah.
Now on Women in Crime, are you going to cover Amelia Earhart?
Yeah,
it's like us to. Whatever you like.
What if we can prove that before she disappeared, that she robbed a bank and took all that money with her onto the plane?
Yeah, we'll put her on Amy's list though, because I'm already covering Amber Heard, and that's going to be a lot of work.
Yeah, I'll take her.
Okay. Thanks. Problem solved.
Tim and I believe that she's in cahoots with DB Cooper.
We're pretty sure. We've got some explosive info that we're about to drop.
She is DB. Oh, I shouldn't have said that.
Yeah. Whoa.
I feel like maybe just last thing that I would add before we go anywhere. Did anyone see the news today that Greta Van Susteren has come up with, she believes, some damning evidence in the Natalie Holloway trial?
What?
No.
You didn't tell me that.
Lead with that.
I mean, I don't know why I didn't.
And what would she, how? What did she?
I don't know. James read it to me while I was driving. We were checking out the new house. We were taking specs measurements. We're in the car. I'm driving home, and he goes, "Did you see this? That Greta Van Susteren posted that she has some not a DNA, but some type of laboratory testing being done, at what she's sure is going to be a very revealing piece of evidence in this trial." I have no idea what it is, but I just figured I'd put that in the world and let everyone.
What trial?
Yeah, what trial was there?
Trial. Did I say trial?
Or-
I mean,
Yes.
peace. I'm
Oh, okay.
sorry. Natalie Holloway. Jeez, Amy.
Okay, yeah, I
you know-
just saw it. Yeah, it's pretty.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Wait.
I'm not holding my breath on anything here. This case is so old. And then I remember hearing the captain of that ship. He wrote a book like a few years
Yes.
ago, and it seemed like, oh, this could be it. There was an
It was
argument.
crap.
And it went nowhere. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. And there was that series with her father that didn't go anywhere too. But
Can I make I gotta make an admission right now. When
What?
you said Greta, whatever, I thought it
Greta.
was that young girl who works on climate change. What's her name?
Greta Thunberg.
Yes. And I was like, what in the world? Or how did this happen?
She's breaking info in the Natalie
I was
Wood
like, I
case
knew
now.
this girl was amazing, but now she's solving crimes. So yes, I just put that out there in the universe of I don't know how many people because I can't.
It's
see.
unbelievable.
This is what Meghan has to deal with every day.
I love this dynamic. I love this dynamic that
Yeah.
Meghan is listening to updates as she's like closing on a house or something, and Amy's like, fill me in.
Yeah,
in.
pretty much. And fill me and school me while you're at it because I clearly like that would have been a cool like fucking turn of events though. If that Greta found evidence in Natalie Holloway's case, that's a
That would be
story I'm
amazing.
interested in.
Greta Thunberg is now a true crime podcaster.
You heard it here first.
I'm surprised she doesn't have a podcast at all.
She probably
really
does.
should. Oh, she
There you
probably
go.
does. Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably
Right,
does.
signed by
Well-
Spotify.
Yeah. I don't know how we're gonna beat that moment here, ladies and gentlemen out there. Well, thank you so much for joining us here, doctors Amy and Meghan. This has been a blast speaking with you. Everyone listening out there, everyone in the chat room, thanks for joining. Make sure to subscribe to Women and Crime. It is a fantastic podcast, and I promise you, you will not regret subscribing.
Thank you, fellas, for having us. It's always so much
Absolutely.
fun.
I really love these sessions. So let's do it
They're so
again
fun.
soon.
Now imagine what it
Definitely.
would be like if we had like a bullet pointed. This is what we're talking about. We'd be stressed. We wouldn't have brought up either Greta's.
That's true.
We would have regretted the
Oh,
Greta's.
look what you did there.
Oh.
We would have regretted.
That reminds me of the Smartless guys. You know how they always do bye and the
Oh,
regret.
I love Smartless. Oh, so good.
Anyway. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Love it. Had a great time. Appreciate
Yeah.
you guys.
Well, thank you.
Oh, we
Yeah,
appreciate
this-
you too as well.
This
Thank
was
you.
a lot
Hope
of
to see
fun.
you guys soon in person.
Yeah,
Yes.
definitely.
All right.
All right.
Do we
All right,
just,
thank
like,
you. Have
Sign off. now?
yeah.